We all know what is to happen here tonight.
We do, and I for one want no part in it. Nor I. It's a blasphemy is what it is.
It is his lordship's desire, and so your duty.
It's a sin.
If so, then the sin will be on their heads. Our duty is our duty.
You keep your teeth together and have a respectful tone. Do you understand me, Molly?
Yes, Mum.
Heather. Heather.
I'll do my best to keep my peace.
Right then, let's put the place in order. The others not here yet?
No, sir. Any time now, I'd wager.
Excellent.
May I ask you a question, George?
Fire away, miss.
Have you lived here long?
That I have, Lord bless you. I was born down in the kitchen of the castle.
Really?
That I was. I was a lad here under his lordship's grandfather. Those were wild times, sir, I can tell you.
Please do.
Begging your ladyship's pardon, but they really aren't the sort of tales you ought to be heeding.
Now you have my curiosity.
Trust them, Miss Millie. You'll get more than enough an hour from Aunt Mildred.
Speak of the devil and the devil comes.
Heather. Hush, we don't want to cry.
Millicent, darling, there you are. We've been searching for you.
Oh, good evening, Lady Darby. Henry and I were to Mine Chapel. Looking forward to the wedding with eagerness, I trust.
Indeed we are.
Indeed you are, but our young man isn't.
Why would your ladyship say such a thing?
Men never look forward to marriage, only to the increase of fortune that comes with it.
So is it a handsome dowry?
Begging of pardon, can we not discuss this in front of the lady?
Oh, nonsense. It's the 20th century. Victoria's been on the throne forever, and such antiquated manners are passing away.
Begging of pardon, but there is never such occasion for good manners to pass away.
Come now, Mildred. You've embarrassed him enough. Don't you think it's time we begin?
Yes, midnight is fast approaching, and it's the deepest part of the night.
Very well. Fiona,
Yes, Mum.
go and fetch his lordship. Tell him we're about to begin.
Right away, Mum.
Heather,
Aye?
dust off the lights, put a few candles. We must set the proper mood if the spirits are to respond.
Your ladyship, I beg you to rethink this.
Not this again.
Your objections have been noted.
Now do as you were told.
But Mom, the spirits in this place.
Have exactly the information we need. Now douse the lights.
Yes, Mom.
Us country girls have their uses, but not exactly a forward-thinking lot.
I still maintain you should dismiss them and send for some decent help from in town.
It's not their fault. After all, they're simple souls and don't have the benefit of modern understanding of the spirit world.
What are they afraid of?
Could we not discuss this?
It is a well-documented fact that this castle's been the abode of spirits nearly since it was built. Our intention tonight is to contact them.
For goodness sakes, why?
Millie, please don't encourage this foolishness.
Tell me, do you have a nervous nature, my dear?
Not particularly. Why?
This is not a story for a girl of flighty disposition.
It's just an old family legend.
It is a family fact.
My curiosity is fairly piqued. Now you must tell me.
The castle was built in 1250 by my family as a fortress of defense of the O'Bannons and the O'Carrolls who had lordship over us.
That would be my family, the O'Carrolls, who ruled here until 1659, when the castle passed through marriage to the Darbys and our two families were united.
A wedding gift? And we are to be married here. How romantic.
Not a wedding gift, darling, and hardly romantic. Hear the rest.
Henry's ancestor, Jonathan Darby, was to be married to the daughter of the chief of the clan.
Jonathan was an Englishman, and they came to love one another while he was being held captive here.
She helped him to escape, and in the process he killed her brother with a single sword thrust to the chest.
Making her the heiress of these estates, so that when they married, he inherited a vast fortune.
Not that the fool had a chance to spend it.
Why not?
Aha, now we come to the heart of the matter.
Being an English lord but tied strongly to Ireland, he was the center of a lot of political upheaval. So, to avoid his treasure being seized, he buried it.
That's to put it mildly. In point of fact, 2 servants helped him bury it, and to ensure their silence, he killed them both in cold blood. It is said that the spirits linger here still.
Enough about this spirit rubbish. But the rest is true, darling. Shortly after he murdered his servants, Jonathan was arrested and imprisoned for years. By the time that he was released, he had totally forgotten where he buried his treasure, and he spent the rest of his years searching for it, but to no avail. That treasure remains buried to this day.
My husband, as you might suspect, is besotted with the idea of finding enormous, limitless wealth, and so has asked me to use my influence over the dead to help find that treasure.
I see. No, you don't see. None of ya. The righteous dead sleep until the resurrection. It is only the other ones, the unholy ones, that will answer your call.
I've warned you enough, Heather. Enough of this talk if you want to keep your situation.
There are worse things than starving in the streets. Please, madam, you'll bring the curse of the damned on us all.
Perhaps the girls are right.
I will not be held hostage to the superstitions of the past. This is the age of the steam engine and the electric light, after all.
Those things have no hold here.
I'm beginning to get a very bad feeling about this.
Don't be such a goose. You know we need you and your brother here. We need the Darbys, the O'Bannons, and the O'Carrolls.
Their lordships are here, Mum.
Excellent.
And I see that you have everything ready.
Except the table.
True. According to custom, we should be around a round table.
Of course. George, will you have the girls see to it?
Right away, sir. Sean, girls, look sharp then.
I can't believe we're actually going to do this.
Why, Patrick, you almost sound afraid.
Too right, I am.
Really?
Afraid that at the Hunt Club found out I took part of the farce.
Hello, Milord.
Hello, Millicent. We are to be family. You are to call me George.
I think that's long enough, Uncle John.
The invitation didn't extend to you. You were to call me my lord.
Come, John, you've been charming enough. Introduce Millicent to our guest.
My pleasure. Or will the girls see to it?
A pleasure. Henry, do you remember my husband?
Of course I do. Nice to see you, Sam.
Pleasure's mine.
Millicent, may I present to you my husband, Colonel Sir Patrick O'Bannon. Patrick, this is young Henry's intended, Miss Millicent St. John.
An honor, miss. And may I extend my congratulations.
You may. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
And may I present my brother, James O'Carroll, Baron of Isle.
Surely not the young lad I taught how to fish.
The same. Good to see you, Henry.
Good Lord, how old are you? 13, 14?
15. Come May.
And already a baron.
I wish it weren't so, Miss Millicent.
I heard about your father. I am so very sorry.
Thank you, Henry.
Lord and Lady O'Carroll's father passed away from influenza last winter.
And here I am making a fool of myself. I'm so desperately sorry.
We appreciate your kindness, miss.
Come now, it's time we begin. James, you and Henry move to benches.
Now you young people really know who rules this Lep Castle.
Please, sir, allow us.
Left Castle? I was told this is Darby Castle.
Only in recent years. Its proper name is Lep Castle.
George and Fiona have forgotten more than most will ever remember about this place.
It was collect from the days when my family used it as a fence across the reach.
And the story dates back even before that.
Thank you both. We can relate the history well enough on our own.
Of course, ma'am.
Begging your ladyship's pardon.
The keep is built on a point where ley lines converge.
Ley lines?
Lines of force that band the earth in all directions. The ancient religions built their holy places and places of power on them.
What she's saying, darling, is that the childish ghost stories that surround this place go a long way back.
A little respect for something that you don't understand would become better of you, Henry.
No offense intended, Lady O'Bannon.
Oh, I think everything is ready, Mum.
Excellent.
Please, madam, don't do this. I have a terrible feeling.
A terrible feeling, you say? Perhaps that means the spirits are near.
It's just what I'm afraid of.
Everyone around the table.
How's this done?
First, you must contact his spirit guide.
Silence. I'm reaching across to the other side. Give us a sign if you can hear us. We are all here, the illustrious families of this house. Give us a sign if you can hear us.
What a load of rubbish.
I agree.
You upset the delicate balance between the worlds. Be quiet.
Give us a sign.
I've come for you, Henry. It's been so long.
Give us a sign.
We are here. Thou must stop this and leave here.
Leave here.
Who are you?
Leave here.
Leave here.
Who are you?
I am one of your own come to warn thee.
We command you to do as
you are bidden.
One such as thee cannot command one such as I.
We have summoned you.
Thou hast not. Only the damned may be summoned. Or I come of my own volition in the name of Christ to warn thee not to open this portal.
What portal? Oh, it is too late. Too late.
What?
Oh, the portal's open. Judgment is upon us. Judgment.
He is coming.
Ought to stop this.
Who's coming?
I cannot hold him.
George, give us some light.
Right away, sir.
He's here! George!
Aye, your lordship.
Get us some light.
Right away, sir.
Mildred!
Millicent.
George, curse you! Where is that light?
Right here, my lord.
Give me the light and go turn on the electric lights now.
Right away, sir. Sean, come with me.
What happened?
You tell us.
Did you hear the voices?
Your
After the voice, something came into the room.
It took me by the throat.
As did I.
I believe we all felt it.
I felt nothing.
Nor I.
I meant all we ladies. There was a desire in the touch.
And then?
And then I remember nothing until I came to with you over me.
Good Lord.
What is it, Sir Patrick?
She's been killed. There isn't a mark on her, but she's burning up.
Look in her eyes. What could have terrified her so?
She tried to warn you. She told you not to meddle with things you don't understand.
Be silent, you are as much a part of this as I.
I asked you to stop.
But you remained nonetheless.
Ladies! This is not the time for this.
I agree.
My lords, I've taken the liberty of bringing up your arms.
Well done, George. Are you comfortable with firearms, James?
I shoot from time to time.
Good for you. Good for you. George, give Henry a sidearm as well, and the others take the guns.
What about me? Hold your peace, boy.
And now we must decide what must be done.
What has happened here?
Someone has helped dear little Molly.
Something, you mean?
I believe out of ladies on stairs.
Excellent idea. See if you can't get a tonic into Heather and see what else we can do.
What about poor Molly?
We shall see to it, dearest. You should go below with the others.
What if whatever did this is still in the house?
We should be safe enough with the electric lights on.
Yes, yes. If you see anything suspicious, call out.
James, Sean, go with me.
Right, Sir Patrick.
Be safe, Henry.
You too.
I'll call the police when in danger.
And I'll come with you.
Beautiful girl. Yes. I am so sorry this had to happen while you were here for the wedding.
An inauspicious beginning, isn't it?
Begging your lordship's pardon,
Yes, George?
what are we to do with dear little Molly?
It is unseemly to leave her there. Shall I move her to the altar?
Excellent idea. George, give us a hand.
Yes, sir. There. That's better.
See if you can't find something to cover her with.
I've got it. Bloody hell. What's this? George, have you ever seen this opening here before?
No, sir.
Oh, what on earth could be causing that stench?
I'm afraid to guess. Do you suppose it's whatever disturbed the seance and created and opened this door?
I'm afraid so, sir.
Well, should we look?
I don't think we have a choice.
Do we all go?
No need for the lot of us to take a risk. I'll do it.
Can't allow you to do that, sir.
It's all right, George.
No, sir, it's mere knowing. Just let me slip by you there.
Can't allow you to do that.
Part of the job, I'm afraid. I'll just nip in and I'll be back in a job.
Well, what do you see?
Give me just a moment.
Henry, give me a hand.
How much of this do you believe, Uncle John?
What is there not to believe? Something killed Molly.
Isn't it more likely that someone killed her?
By whom? We were all in a circle, hand in hand. How could we have done it?
Perhaps one of the servants.
Created all the rest of the spectral whispering and all the other things we experienced?
Why does it always have to be something spiritual with people like you?
And why does it automatically have to be something material with people like you? You search for the most far-fetching excuse not to believe what is right in front of you.
It's just that this superstitious nonsense has no place in this scientific age.
You're a good man, Henry. Maybe the best in this whole mad family. But you're blind. And the worst part is you're blinding yourself.
Begging your lordship's pardon,
Yes, George.
there's something here that you really should see.
What is it?
Some sort of torture pit, sir. A hole in the floor that leads to a long drop with a large spike.
Good Lord. The oubliette.
That's what it's called, sir.
I had heard there was one in the castle a long time ago. But thought it was long since destroyed. You tell me this door leads to it?
So it would seem.
I'll have a look.
Watch yourself, sir. The pit is full of bones and the footing is treacherous.
I'll be careful.
Do that, sir. I'll wait here with young Master Henry.
I'll be right back.
Poor darling Molly.
Did you know her well?
That I did, from the day she was born. It was my Fiona who was her midwife down the village.
What do you think happened to her?
I know exactly what happened to her.
Which is?
We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Pardon?
Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12.
So, you are saying
Isn't it obvious?
that she was taken by the powers of darkness?
Just her life, not her spirit.
You're pulling my leg.
Please, sir, I am deadly serious. Don't you know where you are, what this place is?
Of course I do. The Darbys have lived in that castle for generations.
But you have not lived here.
No? My parents left when I was small. I only came back because I thought it was right to be married in my ancestral chapel.
The Bloody Chapel.
Bloody?
Your parents left here to protect you from just such tales as these. But listen. Listen close.
All right, George.
In 1532, the chief of the O'Carrolls, Mulrooney O'Carroll, died, and a bitter rivalry for leadership erupted within the family.
I may remember something of this. Didn't a fight for power turn brother against brother?
That it did. One of the brothers was a priest. One night while he was holding a mass for a group of his family inside the Bloody Chapel, his brother, One-Eyed Teague O'Carroll, burst into the chapel and plunged his sword into his brother's chest.
He killed his own brother? A priest?
That he did. Without a second thought, the butchered priest's blood fell across the altar, and he died in front of his family.
Good Lord.
The good Lord had nothing to do with it. In fact, the opposite is true.
The devil?
The twin crimes of killing his own brother and murdering a priest during High Mass were so terrible that it ripped a hole into hell, and the damned and their demon masters have been here ever since.
George. Oh, that's a good story.
It's no laughing matter.
It's a good story, and you tell it well. I almost bought it.
Please, sir, I am deadly earnest. I have come to warn you, and I fear we have little time left. Molly is dead. What more need happen?
That's enough, George. A joke is a joke, but bringing poor Molly into this.
It has started, believe me, Mr. Henry.
What has happened? Who fired the shot?
at the gallery whose windows look at the hangman's field. You know the one?
Of course.
I was staring at the flood below her when I was nearly overcome by the most terrible spell of decay.
You're taking all over. Have a seat.
I felt someone put a hand on my shoulder and I turned to see the thing. It was small, thin, gaunt, shadowy. Its face was inhuman.
Christ preserve us.
As I stared into those hate-filled eyes that seemed half decomposed, the smell intensified 100-fold. That's when I screamed and the thing ran.
Sir Patrick James and the servant boy gave pursuit, but they shan't catch it.
Who could it have been?
Not who. What? It was a creature of darkness. An elemental spirit of the underworld that haunts this castle.
Now you should really go for Lord Darby.
I'm right here.
John, what have I done?
Try and calm yourself. Where is Fiona? Mildred, try and calm yourself. Where is Fiona?
She stood on stairs. Why?
I have terrible news. I think I found George.
George? What has happened?
I believe I found his dead body.
Impossible. George is...
Henry.
This is impossible.
Henry.
He was right here. He was right here. I just spoke to him. You spoke to him.
Henry, that wasn't George. George is still down in the oubliette. He must have fallen under the spike.
You're right. Fiona must be told. I will go to her.
I will go with you. No one should go anywhere alone.
In fact, bring all the ladies here. Let's not separate again.
I couldn't agree more. Come along, Catherine.
Try and calm yourself. Relief will come with the dawn.
Which is still hours away.
I am certain you will be safe until then.
Will we?
Elizabeth and Catherine will be back together and we'll be safe.
You make me almost believe it is true.
It is true, darling. Now try and rest.
I am certain I shall never sleep again.
Close your eyes and rest. I'm right here.
Poor George.
He's lucky compared to the most that fell into that pit.
How so?
It's more than a dozen feet deep. Those that missed falling onto the spike must have starved.
And the dining hall must be right above the pit. They couldn't have helped but hear the sound of revelry above.
Can't be certain. Some of the bones must have been gnawed on by the unfortunates.
I can't believe that people could do such things to each other.
They shouldn't have, but they did. They did.
And to think of dear old George dying in such a place.
But with his death, he may have given us a clue.
How so?
Look at this.
A watch. How is this to help us?
Look at the date.
1846. Less than 60 years ago.
Good Lord, that would mean.
The oubliette was being used for murder and torture in your grandfather's time.
No. I can't believe this.
Believe it, for it may be true. Does this date mean nothing to you?
1846, no. Should it?
I am not certain, but we'll ask Fiona when she comes.
Fiona. How will you tell her?
For the life of me, I don't know.
John?
Mildred, I thought you'd fallen asleep.
Perhaps I did. I'm feeling more myself now.
Good.
Are the ladies here yet?
Not yet, Auntie.
Auntie, makes me seem so old, but I wager I'm only 5 years your senior.
Perhaps. But I guess we'll never know, because it would be ungentlemanly to ask your age.
I see you possess some of the Darby charm.
I'm flattered.
Millicent is a very sweet girl. I'm growing fond of her already.
Thank you.
So how did you meet?
Let's not pry, darling.
And why not? It will pass the long hours until dawn. How did you meet?
Childhood sweetheart, Jack.
Oh, really? How charming.
We both went to a private school, and the only class that would let boys and girls take together was dramatics.
Let me guess. She was the Juliet to your Romeo.
Hardly that. I had a bit part in the chorus, and she was the costume mistress. Let's just say we had too much time and too little supervision.
Oh?
Why, Henry, you can't.
Nothing too scandalous, I assure you. But it was what put our feet on the path to the altar.
Tragic path, as it turns out.
2 deaths. I can scarcely believe it.
2 deaths so far. And Dawn a long way off.
Henry, I'm so glad to see you.
What happened to Son?
I've never seen anything like it, John. The thing turned and was on us so fast. The lad, he never had a chance.
He tried to warn us. He knew this would happen.
Fiona, please.
He heard the Banshee wail. I should have trusted him.
Dear Phoebe, please listen. There is some dreadful news.
Lady O'Bannon has told me about me, George.
Fiona, I'm so sorry.
Where is he?
I don't think you should see him.
Where is he?
Fiona.
Where is George?
He's in the pit below. He fell.
Help me to fetch him, sir.
Fiona, I don't think that's a good idea. His body's been brutally pierced.
Begging your lordship's pardon, but it was me who fetched my parents' bodies from the house fire that killed them both. It was me who pulled our boy from the sea. It was me who washed our daughter's body after she were killed by a runaway horse. And it will be me that will send George home to his maker.
At least let's wait until dawn.
Let it wait! With him as Tartard, as you say.
Uncle John, let's just go and have it done.
But we just agreed not to separate.
We will only be next door, practically in the same room.
What if the door sits up behind you? We can wedge it with something.
Come now. Soonest begun is soonest done.
All right. Fiona, for your sake, we'll go.
Bless you, sir.
We'll be right back.
Let's stay together, ladies. There's safety in numbers. Heather. Yes, madam? Cover that poor boy.
Will this night ever end?
It can't be long until dawn now.
If any of us live to see it.
Enough of that. Things are bad enough out your theatrics. Lady O'Carroll, won't you join us? Madam? Catherine?
Never let them go.
Molly, don't touch her.
You should never have let them go.
Who? Never let who go?
Your men. The pit is cursed.
For heaven's sake, Heather, stop this!
Be quiet. Who is speaking to us now?
You know who. I was murdered because you opened the gate and let it through. So I was told.
What if the dead one was the living?
To warn you.
About what?
The thing from the pit. The elemental demon that is here among you now.
The fiend I saw!
It is a servant of the evil one, and all the unrighteous men of this cursed place to follow where it leads.
How can it be stopped?
Seek the righteous to stop the unrighteous. I can no longer stay.
Don't panic. I'll have a candle going in its stick.
mine.
Christ preserve us!
You cannot. Your masterpiece rests you in my power.
What do you want?
I cannot face so.
It was poor dear Heather who died next on that dreadful night. A further price paid for my dabbling in that which should have been kept secret.
When we were finally able to light a candle again, there was so very much blood. But no trace of Heather was found that night, nor ever again to this day.
With the coming of dawn, Fiona took the bodies to town, and the aid of the local constables and the ministers of the church was sought. But help did not come that day, nor indeed for many days to come.
At length the day passed, and as the night came upon us, we were ill prepared for the tragedy to come.
How are you holding up, my dear?
Better than I would expect. The night's falling fast.
I think we could use some backing up, don't you?
I do.
See if you can find the ladies. We'll make tea and enjoy each other's company.
A wonderful idea. I'll bring them right back.
Fiona, I had no idea you were back.
Only just.
Any help in town from the Abbey?
I wouldn't hold my breath, Mum.
Then we are alone.
I think of each of us is from cradle to grave, Mum.
Pardon?
I think life is a puzzle that we each have to solve for ourselves. Others can be a blessing, but the true test is to each his own.
That's an odd thing to say.
I wonder if I might ask a great favor, Mum.
Of course, Fiona, which is it?
This locket were going to be our daughter's on her wedding day, and this pocket watch for George's intended for our son, but the horse killed Susan and the sea took our boy, and I have no use for these now.
I'm sure you can find some use for them.
I believe I have. I wonder if you might give them to young Henry and his bride.
I'm sure they will be deeply moved, but really you should give them.
Begging your ladyship's pardon, but I haven't the heart left in me.
What do you mean?
George was all I had left, you see. I want those young folks married, happy, and out of this place. I just can't bear to see them.
I understand.
So you'll see to it that they get them.
I will.
Thank you. And your ladyship?
Yes?
You mustn't blame yourself.
No?
No, it weren't you. It's this place, as cursed of a place as ever was.
Thank you, Fiona.
You're always fair with George and me. Always fair.
Thank you.
Now, if you'll excuse me, there are things need seeing to before night falls.
Of course.
All right then, George. All right.
Merciful heaven!
No!
No! Let go around. Put the rope, John. Pull her up with the legs.
Is she?
Never had a chance. Her neck is broken.
But why?
You know why.
This place, curse it!
Already done, John. Already done.
Let's get her out of here before the others see her.
We can take down the back stairs and not imagine morning comes.
Henry! Henry?
Hurry. Poor Fiona shouldn't be seen like this. Both together, the quick and gentle.
Millicent? I heard you calling. Are you all right?
To be dark again soon.
I'm afraid so.
I still think we should have left.
I told you before that we couldn't. We have to wait for the authorities.
We could have waited in town.
We can't leave the scene of the crime.
This isn't simply a crime. There are forces at work here that we can't understand.
It'll be all right, Millie.
Promise?
I promise.
I'm just afraid that when the sun sets...
Do you remember that little brook that cut through Candle Park?
Proud go when I was upset.
I always knew where to find you when we quarreled, and when you were upset.
Seems an awfully long way away.
Not so far. We'll get there again soon.
Look, the sun is setting.
As it appears help has arrived at last.
Pater noster, qui es in caelis, sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in caelo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimite nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimittimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo.
Amen.
Sister?
Sister?
Have you come from the Abbey to help us?
Seek the righteous to stop the unrighteous.
Is that why you have come?
The living for the living and the dead for the dead.
I don't understand.
You only have one chance.
Henry?
Stay calm. Who are you? Why have you come?
To repent.
Of what?
Sins, crimes, past offenses done against heaven in this very room.
How did you come to be here?
The gateway opened for a time, and I crossed to aid you in the hopes that my sins would be purged.
Help us?
Seek the righteous to stop the unrighteous, the living for the living, and the dead for the dead.
You can stop this creature?
Not I.
Then who?
What do you want?
Seek the righteous to stop the unrighteous, the living for the living, and the dead for the dead. Be quick, for evils transpire here that you know nothing of.
Millie, go get Uncle John and tell him to come back with a pry bar.
We aren't supposed to be alone at the dock.
It'll only be for but a moment.
I can't, Henry. I can't.
Be strong for just this one moment, and we may have a solution to all of our problems.
I love you, Henry.
I love you too. Now hurry. Who is that?
Kill him.
Hush. Henry.
Who is there?
His kind of fakeness. Kill him.
He will come with us.
Millicent, is that you?
Oh, Henry. I'm so cold.
Who are you? Show yourself.
It's only me, Henry.
What do you want?
It's only me.
Do I know you?
I know you.
What do you want?
Come here and I'll tell you.
Keep your distance.
But Henry, I'm so cold. I'm so cold.
What are you doing to me?
I'm so cold.
Every man is faithless. Take him.
Is mine.
Please give him to me.
Never. They are all mine.
We have done as you commanded.
And you will be rewarded.
Please give me this one.
Never.
Please, I beg you.
Never.
Please.
Never.
He must suffer.
And you will suffer. Now go.
Please.
Go.
Henry?
What has happened?
Henry, I should not have left him alone.
Give us room. Henry.
Is he...
Alive, but barely.
What happened?
I can't tell. There isn't a mark on him.
You say the apparition departed when you left.
Yes, she pointed to that stone and had left.
He seemed to have made an effort to pull the stone away.
He sent me to get you the pry bar. I think he supposes there's some answer hidden there.
And he may be right. Hand me that pry bar.
Here. There's definitely something there.
What is it?
There's definitely something here in the alcove.
Be careful, John.
Oh. The book is moist. It's a book.
Henry, are you all right? Sit up.
Where is she?
Where's who?
The woman in the scarlet dress.
There was no one like that here.
But she was just here.
No, darling, there was no such person.
Perhaps there was.
What do you mean, John?
On several occasions, the men of the house have beheld a witching figure in all vermilion. It is said that those have seen her, that she carries a phantom dagger which she oftentimes thrusts at her victim. And just as often, her breath brings the pestilence it carries intended for the spirit realm.
What is that book?
It reads, the Book of the Damned, but I can't make out the rest.
The Book of the Damned of that castle, collected for the binding of the infernal dead by one true to Christ's name, J. and Darby. The year of our Lord, 1846.
1826. I knew it.
Knew what?
The watch that I found down in the pit with George.
What of it?
It read 1846. Must have been the year that John Nelson Darby sealed that pit.
John Nelson Darby? I remember him.
Do you?
He died when I was very young.
Yes. Yes, he was an old man then.
He was. But I remember him.
What do you remember of him?
The strength but softness of his voice. Him seated in an old armchair with a cane in a glass to read the scriptures.
Yes.
He always had sweets for us children. But Father took us away from Lep shortly after he died.
Perhaps with good reason.
In what way?
He was a great man with religious importance throughout Europe.
We study him in academy still, as I remember he was a prominent clergyman in the Church of Ireland, but had a falling out with them as they sought to dilute their faith with politics.
Yes, that's right. He founded the Plymouth Brethren.
Our family always held that he performed the oral rites that have sealed all the phantoms that have haunted this castle away.
And now here's the text to prove it. This book lists dozens, if not hundreds, of specters that have been seen here. If this is true, this must be the most haunted castle in all of Ireland.
In all release that night, I held that foolish seance.
What else does it say?
Very little. A list of spirits. The bloody spirit of a mercenary who died here. A vengeful bride who died of suicide. The spirits of Chloe and Charlotte Riley who threw themselves from the walls after they were caught smothering children. And Teagle Carroll. Wait a moment, what is this?
For goodness sake, read it.
The most terrifying of these beings is a demonic hunched creature whose apparition is said to be accompanied by a rotting stench and a smell of sulfur. Some call this an elemental. This grotesquely disfigured beast-like phantom ranged from the height of that of a dwarf to that of a human. Be ye not deceived for its stature so low, the rest of the spirits are subject to it.
No. No! Catherine?
No! Is this the first you've spoken since?
Since Heather disappeared, yes. Catherine?
No!
Catherine, get a hold of me!
No!
Catherine?
Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do.
Hold her! Your feet!
No! 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 No!
Is she?
She's alive.
We should take her from this terrible room.
Wait. Why? I am certain that this fit was brought on by what Lady O'Bannon read from that book.
What more does it say?
There's an illustration of the stained glass, and then a prescription for the binding and sealing of the evil that's in this place.
How can we do it?
I can't tell, the page is faded.
We are no further along than we were before.
Perhaps we must do as I suggested before.
Which is?
Contact the spirit of John Nelson Darby.
You have been told before, only the damned may be commanded, the ready to serve the cause of truth as it pleases them.
Who goes there?
Whom did you seek?
Show yourself.
Only the damned may be commanded.
Will you please show yourself so that we may know we are not deceived?
I remember you. And I you.
You don't look the same.
I appeared to you in the vigor of my youth, rather than in my frailty.
How do we know you really are John Nelson Darby?
Enough of this. Ask me what you would ask, or face the elemental on your own.
Did you really steal the fiend away?
Yes, and it would have been truck leather had you not given it freedom.
How may we steal it again?
The one who must do it must have the necessary piety, prudence, and personal integrity. He must complete this mercy work courageously and humbly, not relying on his own strength, but on the power of God. I can do it. You cannot.
Why not?
The one who must do it must have no greed for material benefit. For greed's sake, you all release the elemental, and now you cannot defeat it.
Then who?
No, not Henry. Darling, it is our only hope. If he wants no part of this, why must he risk his life for it?
Because someone must. If not me, then who?
Don't do this, Henry. Please don't.
Have faith, Lily. Nothing can take me away from you.
Promise me, Henry.
I promise.
You will do well.
What must I do?
You must fast the rest of tonight and all of tomorrow. Tomorrow will come for you. Have those who summon the elemental with you.
Until tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I cannot wait another night, I can't. Show some dignity, Mildred. You open this door for this evil, have the backbone to close it.
The door cannot be closed.
Merciful heavens, that reek of meat is here.
I will not allow
No! No! No!
This house is mine.
Is it truly dead?
those words are not me. I cannot banish me.
I can only hold you to the one who can sue you if prepared.
Very well. Prepare ourselves. And tomorrow night, we shall see who has submitted here. Thou or I.
The night is interminable, and the day nearly is spent. Lady O'Carroll recovered from it, but has never spoken again to this day.
I fasted all night and day, and I prepared myself for the ordeal that was to come.
Though we tried sleep, none in the dreadful place received any rest, for we dreaded the conflict to come.
Though not a saint nor a soldier, as the sun began to sink, I steeled myself for a battle.
As the sun set, we were filled with the gravest forbid, till finally the appointed hour was at hand.
Midnight.
What do we do?
Do nothing.
Are we not supposed to banish this creature?
Wait.
Do not ally yourself with this darkness, and we shall lay you to your rest.
I don't want rest. I want you, Henry Darby!
This place belongs to the dead, and the dead claim it.
I don't know what to do. Fiona, how?
Even the damned can find salvation.
Who am I to do such a thing?
Read from the book and release us all.
Read, and the repentant shall be given their reward, and those who embrace darkness shall be given death.
The pages are blurred.
Oh Lord!
Oh Lord!
You who love man!
You who love man!
We beg you!
We beg you
to reach out your powerful hand!
To reach out your powerful hands!
And come to our aid!
And come to our aid!
Help us!
Help us!
We who remain in your image!
We who remain in your image!
Send the angel of peace over us!
Send the angel of peace over us!
Protect us, body and soul!
Protect us, body and soul!
May you keep at bay!
May you keep at bay!
And vanquish every evil power!
Vanquish every evil power!
Every poison!
Every poison!
Of malice!
Of malice!
Invoked against us! And corrupt and envious people!
Corrupt and envious people!
Dear Lord in heaven.
Oh, man.
John, I am so sorry.
It's all right. I believe it's over. It's over.
think it's open. I think it's finally open.
There are those among us who choose to disbelieve what you have just seen.
Yet the fact remains that the tale we have told you concerns the true hauntings of the home of the Darbys, known as Lep Castle.
The castle stands to this very day, but the demon that walks its halls is no longer seen, and the spirits, the restless dead, still remain.
Those of you who doubt can find your way to Lep Castle, County Offaly, Leinster, Ireland, with little trouble. But be warned, you may learn, as we did, to leave the living to the living, and the dead to the dead.
Okay, so it's our. We get some like yellows. Okay, so it's our final show tonight, so of course we have to give some thanks. And you all have to sit through it. So the first person that we'd like to call on stage would be our fantastic director, Eric Mitchell. And then we would like to call down our tech people up in the booth, which would be our audio and our lights. And then our wonderful set designer, Bruce. All of our tech crew. And then I think
Okay, then I only have like one thing, really a short thing. So it's a tradition to give senior flowers on closing night. So our enormous large group of senior grad one senior worked on this show both on and off stage. But the good news for me is that look at all these wonderful people I have, like, for at least a little while longer. Thank you all so very much. Once again, thanks to Butterfield's class. I was outside for a little while during the show, and it's really awesome to watch, like, the feed on this and look at it. And if you get a chance to see it, because there's a camera in the fireplace tonight, and it's an awesome angle and shot. So it was like watching a movie. It was really cool. But thank you, everyone who's come to see the show. My big thanks to the parents and families of all these guys. Thank you for letting your students participate. I know it's a lot of time away from their studies and things. It's important.